Well, hey everybody, greetings from extremely hot, almost 100 degrees today, Salem, Oregon. It's been a while since I've done any of these updates. Try to catch you up with the whirlwind that was the end of the school year and trying to get everything all wrapped up. I think one of the last updates I did was just before I did the Glow Run or the Glow XC, and I think it was probably just a couple of days before that, so that would have been end of May. The last 2 to 3 weeks of school were absolutely nuts, just trying to get everything done and trying to get school finished up and all of that. And frankly, to be perfectly honest, something had to give, and it was this that was given. It was the regular blog updates, the regular videos, all that stuff. It just was too much. And so I kind of cut back a little bit. As a result, I found myself also without all that accountability, not getting out and running like I needed to, not quite keeping myself up on what I should have been eating as well. And so what I found was Phase 2, the end of Phase 2 at least, was marked by a lot of, ambivalence isn't the right word, sporadicness. Let's leave it at that. I know it's not a word, but English people just seriously stop freaking out. Sporadicness. Just a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there, but not a lot of consistency overall in much of anything. That all changes starting, for the most part, today. The training program picks back up July 1st. Phase 3 begins. Phase 3 is the half marathon. And I've got a half marathon October 5th, 2014 in Portland. I'll be doing the Portland half marathon, which, you know, I get to watch the marathoners just kind of keep sailing past me as we get out there around the 13-mile mark. They just kind of keep going, and I turn around and come home. So it's one of those things that there's a little bit of trepidation, to be honest. 13 miles is a long distance, and thus far I think the longest I've gone is somewhere between 5 and 6 miles in a sitting. So I've definitely got my work cut out for me getting to that point and getting ready to go from there. Additionally, I found myself falling back into some not so awesome eating habits, so I kind of have to nip that in the bud now. I mean, I haven't lost a lot of ground weight-wise, but I have lost some ground muscle mass-wise. Body weight's about the same as it was, but the composition, body composition has definitely changed a bit. I'm not quite as much muscle now and a little bit more fat than I was before, so I got to get that back going again and get that taken care of and get it moving forward. Cut out some of the sweets and some of the other things that found their way back in during the mid part of Phase 2, and just kind of try to get all that squared away and taken care of. So I'm going to try to do a much better job of doing a daily update. I know that most of you aren't following this. That's totally fine. For those that are, it'll kind of give you a little bit of an update, and it'll force me to keep myself accountable to a certain extent. So the plan for Phase 3 is as such, and I'm slowly easing into this only because I have a tendency of doing something where when I get this idea that I'm going to run with it and go with it and just do this, I throw everything in all at once, and then I burn myself out, and I can't keep it going for the long term. So I'm going to kind of ease into this just a little bit. The plan is this. The half marathon has a very prescribed and very specific setup time frame. I don't know how well you can see this. Yeah, it does. Or you see it okay on there, unless it's backwards. It's backwards on mine. I don't know if it's backwards on yours. What I did was I downloaded, it's 21K Trainer. I don't have my iPod anywhere close. 21K Trainer, and it's a half-mile training program. But it has kind of an interesting program. I don't know. I'm going to give it a shot. I mean, seriously, who knows what's good, what's not necessarily. But as you can see, it's very couch to 5K-esque. What it does is it eases you into the distances as it goes. So like for today's begin, the half marathon training, what I had to do today was 60 minutes, a 5-minute warm-up, 60 minutes of running, and then a 5-minute cool down. And it was a little bit of a challenge given the sporadicness of my running of late, but I was able to complete it for the most part. I think I probably ran close to an 11 and a half miles, so I got some speed to pick back up. The Glow XC I ran in like 10:01, 10:02, something like that, along with Bridge to Bruise. So that's that pace that I've been at. I'd like to crack that a little bit and get down into the 9s. At least low 9s going into the Portland Marathon would be nice. I'll work on peel and speed later. You'll see I've got a rest after that. I run on Thursday for about 30 minutes, and then I have a rest on Friday, Saturdays. I've made my long run day Sundays, so I've got my long run, and then I'm going to start throwing some swimming in on the off days, on Mondays and Wednesdays. So I'll be going in early morning into the Y and doing some swimming. That kind of starts me down the ability to also start getting that part of my training taken care of for triathlon eventually. So that's kind of the beginning of that process, and then working towards the marathon ultimately for the run. But you can just kind of see it ramps up a little bit as it goes, and then that goes clear into October, it goes into September, etc. But I have a little bit of a side distraction, sort of, kind of, as it goes. I've got fundraising to do, whole bunches of fundraising to do between now and the end of September. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff that's got to get done between now and then. If you'd like to contribute to that, it's active.com/CCA / I think 205 by 35, I think is the link. I'll post it on the YouTube comment section here at the bottom of the video. I would really appreciate any and all financial support you can provide. Emotional support is also awesome, but I would like to make sure that I meet my fundraising goals for Children's Cancer Association before I run this race in October. So the training begins, the process goes, it's all back to the same thing again, just going and going and going. The beard is gone, but it will return. I'm going to grow me a half marathon beard up to October so I can have it blowing in the wind while I'm running, look a little more like Forrest Gump. That's my hope. He was a handsome, handsome man. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on in my world. Looking at just kind of going gangbusters here and getting back at it. So, that's the hard part. You get into this, and those of you that have done this before, you get to the point where you make some progress. You make progress. Seriously, you make progress. I run into people all the time, all over town. I run into people, and they say, "Oh, wow, oh, you've lost all this weight." And you know what that tells your brain? That tells your brain, "Hey, you succeeded. You're done." And the problem is I'm not. And so while it's nice and while it's wonderful that people notice, and I appreciate that, I truly do, and it's really nice to run into old students or run into former coworkers or whatever else and have them do like a double or a triple take and say, "Wow, what have you done?" At the same time, it's not, you can't take this time to dwell on how far we've come. It's like, there's an additional bit of this process that goes along. And the hard part with this is it's time consuming. It really is. For me to do the workout schedule that I've got set up right now, it's basically an hour and a half in the mornings before work. It's 2 hours after I get home at the gym Monday through Thursday. I take Friday nights off. But it's a time commitment, and that's what killed me in the end of phase 2. Was school picked up, work picked up, everything picked up, things got crazy, and I just couldn't keep up. I really truly couldn't keep up. There were meetings every other night near the end of the year. We had promotion and this and that and everything else, and there's parties and celebrations and cake and this and everything else, and I didn't do a good job of saying no to myself. So I got to work on that here in phase 3. But the good news is phase 3 has begun. The process to phase 2 was successful. I'm a runner. It's official. So I've done a couple races now. Now phase 3 begins, and we start moving that process forward a little bit more. Phase 1, we got ourselves healthy, got the impurities out. Phase 2, we put some of those impurities back in. So I got to kind of re-purify a bit on this. I think I'm going to do the Daniel plan from what I'm looking at. I kind of didn't really give that a full fair shake before, so I kind of want to make sure and do that on this go of it. And then increase the distance, try to increase the speed, try to get the swimming and stuff in there so that I can go through and really start making some advances. The one nice thing is with with the running, as much as I'm going to be doing in the next little bit, as well as the swimming and the other stuff in the evenings, Pilates and the cardio and stuff at night and weights. It gets to the point where you don't have to worry so much about what you're eating, but that doesn't give you the excuse to just be, go crazy on it. But you're burning a ton of calories a day. I was on one of the most recent days that I logged where I went in, I did my run in the morning, I did Pilates, I did cardio after Pilates. I was already, basically I'd burned 2,000 calories that day that I could then put back according to the thing. So I don't have to be quite as careful with counting each calorie. I just need to make sure that what I am taking in is intelligent calories. So anyway, whether you watch it or not, whether you don't, I will try to have daily updates up here in the near future, especially during the summertime when things are a little bit less hectic and crazy. But it's way past my bedtime. It's already an hour past. 8:30 is the new bedtime, so I can be up at 4:30 to run. So I'm going to check out. I'm going to say goodnight. So y'all have a fantastic evening. Thanks for watching. Please consider supporting. We really, truly appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening. Cheers.